Beyond him, the King of Newcastle abdicated.
Well, I'm joined now by two Newcastle supporters who have the privilege of covering the club more closely than most. John Gibson, executive editor of The Chronicle, and Steve Wraith, the fanzine editor of Newcastle's number 9 fanzine. John, first of all, we've spent time looking back. Let's look forward. Who can possibly replace Kevin Keegan?
Very, very difficult question, and I think it's one that the Newcastle United board have been considering in the back of the mind for a while, because at one stage at the end of last season, it looked as if Kevin may go, and you've got to be ready with Plan B. There's absolutely no question about that, and it's got to be a big name personality.
Well, the bookmakers are ready. Kenny Dalglish is their favourite. What do you think of that one?
Well, it's got to be a big name personality. It's no job for the faceless, so immediately Kenny Dalglish comes into the frame. He's available, he's won the Premier League Championship, and he's won it with a guy called Alan Shearer, which is a...
But he's walked away from pressure jobs
absolutely.
as well. And Steve, I mean, out of the frying pan into the fire a bit with him, perhaps.
Yeah, it is really. I mean, there's going to be... It's the same story all the time. There's always names get bandied around, you know. Brian Little seems to be up there now, which would be very intriguing if we get him before the game on Saturday against Aston Villa. I think that will be a thriller at the Villa, but...
Who would be your choice?
I would like to see somebody experiencing a big name, but if it all falls through and we don't manage to get anyone like that, people like Dalglish who have got a tendency to walk away, I think you should give the job to Peter Beardsley, because with backing like Cox and McDermott, I think, you know, promote from within. We've preached a lot about being like Liverpool and following the Liverpool traditions. Let's use Kevin Keegan as a benchmark. Kevin's done a lot for this club. The bloke deserves a big pat on the back, a big round of applause. And, you know, people have called him a bottler and said that he hasn't got the guts and he's walked away from the job, but you know, the bloke has been under a lot of pressure the last few months, and Peter Beardsley, he knows a lot about winning trophies.
If they gave it to Beardsley, perhaps then they'd look to somebody like Bobby Robson to come in above him on a continental style.
That's been a thought. I mean, Bobby is a very good friend of Sir John Hall's. He's got a proven track record with England and abroad. I think he's at an age where we'd have to bring someone in young along with him, and Robson alongside Beardsley or Chris Waddle, both of whom played for him with England, is a distinct possibility. I think the job would fascinate him. There's not many jobs would fascinate Bobby Robson at this stage.
It's a job to look forward to, isn't it? Because whoever comes in will inherit one of the best squads, the strongest squads in the Premiership, surely.
A great chance for any manager that comes in has got a super chance here.
So a final word, Beardsley from you, Steve, no doubts about that.
I'd like to see Peter Beardsley given the chance. I think player manager would relish it. He loves the club. He's already proved that. He's come back to the club, and he wants to see silverware in the cabinet.
A name?
Perhaps a Robson with a young man like Beardsley or Waddle would do me fine as well, but it's going to be very difficult to replace that man. No
very
question.
Difficult and very interesting, I'm sure, over the next few days, weeks, who knows, it could be months. Thanks very much for the moment. And of course, while Kevin Keegan's departure has dominated the sports headlines on Tyneside, there is the small matter of a Coca-Cola Cup quarter-final to be decided down the road at Middlesbrough. The Borough take on mighty Liverpool at the Riverside, with Wembley just 2 steps